I'd like at this time to call to order a regular meeting of the Durant City Council. If you would please stand with me while we have an invocation and a salute to our flag. Let's all pray together. Our God, our Father in heaven, we're so thankful for the blessings that you showed Durant. We're so thankful for the blessings on each family and each person that's here. God, help us to do a good work for the city of Durant, to make it a better place for all of our citizens and all of our visitors. Pray that you would bless each worker and each person who's doing those jobs to make Durant a better place. Lord, we just pray that you would be with us. Help us during this meeting. Give us your wisdom. Give us your courage. Give us your understanding, Lord, to make good decisions for the betterment of our city. And Lord, pray for each person who's here today. Especially we pray for those folks who are involved in defending our liberties and our freedoms in harm's way, Lord. Thank you so much for them. Most of all, we thank you for Jesus Christ, who's our Savior. In his name we pray. Amen. If you would please face the flag and render a hand salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much, and please be seated. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Councilmember Morrison.
Here.
Councilmember Shear.
Here.
Vice Mayor Simulescu.
Here.
Mayor Tucker.
I'm here, and at this time I would invite the council down front for a couple of proclamations that we're going to make. If you would please join me. It's on. Okay, Brenna. We're going to do two proclamations tonight, and we have Brenna Dutton, part of the Owen Academy, with her staff, and I want y'all to be out front and not me. Yes, sir. So this proclamation, and I'll just go ahead and read it. April 2026 is Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. Whereas autism affects an estimated 1 in 31 children and 1 in 45 adults, and affects each person differently, resulting in unique strengths and challenges. And whereas autism can cause challenges with verbal and nonverbal communication, social interaction, and repetitive behaviors, and can affect anyone regardless of age or race or ethnicity or gender or socioeconomic background. And whereas autism is often accompanied by medical conditions that impact quality of life. And whereas a comprehensive collaborative approach will help to advance research, providing a better understanding of autism spectrum disorder while strengthening advocacy efforts and ensuring access to services and resources throughout the lifespan. And whereas early diagnosis and intervention tailored to individual needs can help lifelong benefits, easing the transition to adulthood and fostering greater independence. And whereas each person and family affected by autism should have access to reliable information, supports, and opportunities to live up to their greatest potential. And whereas the city of Durant, Oklahoma is honored to take part in the annual observance of Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month to address the diverse needs of autistic individuals and their families. Now, therefore, I, Martin Tucker, the mayor of Durant, Oklahoma, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month for the city of Durant to increase understanding and
The Owen Foundation, which is our 501c3 nonprofit organization, we started in 2021. And we started that so we could do like sporting camps for kids with autism. My son Owen is 10. He loves basketball. It's one of his favorite things to do. And so one of the first things we did was started a basketball camp, and then soccer and cheer. And now we have a 5K that's coming up here in Durant on April 11th. But what I wanted to say is that Durant, of all the cities in the Texoma, our immediate Texoma, Grayson, and Bryan County, Durant was the first one that reached out to us wanting to do the Autism Awareness Month proclamation. And as a mom of a kiddo on the autism spectrum, that means so much. And then we opened the Owen Academy 2 years ago here in Durant, and Durant has just been incredibly welcoming. And I've worked with the local police department with the Owen Foundation as far as getting autism safety training, and you guys have been super adamant about that. And believe it or not, that's just not the norm in most cities. It has to be really brought to their attention, and then they do it. But Durant actually came to me. You guys were the first one that came to me wanting to do this proclamation, and this is our 3rd year to do it, so thank you for that. On behalf of not just me and not just the Owen Foundation, but our entire community. Yep, okay, so this is Charlie Laborico. She is the vice president of the Owen Foundation. And then we have two more board members. This is Dee Dee Gallegos and Rebecca Rowland. We just moved into a new facility, the Owen Academy, over on Washington, and we love it. Yes, it's fabulous. And if anybody ever wants to come by and see it, just give us a call. Thank you so much.
That's great. All right, one more. Don't wander off. We don't have a person here to present this to, but the city receives CDBG grant funds and other funds from the federal government. And so one of the things that we do with them has to do with housing, and fair housing is the way the government describes it. So we have a proclamation for that, the city of Durant. This proclamation declares the month of April also as Fair Housing Month in the city of Durant. And if you've been around here long, you know we do this each year. So whereas the city of Durant decrees that all citizens affirm to follow the concepts and practices and intent embodied by the laws of the United States of America, the state of Oklahoma, and the city of Durant in regard to fair housing. And whereas the city of Durant has designated the month of April annually as Fair Housing Month and encourages each citizen to implement the provisions of those acts. And whereas the mayor of the city of Durant designates Community Development Director as the Fair Housing Activities Coordinator and requests that any person or group of persons planning activities to promote fair housing to inform the Fair Housing Activities Coordinator of said activities. And whereas it is the desire of the city of Durant to recognize those persons or groups who best create an awareness of the need for fair housing practices or otherwise promotes fair housing practices. Now, therefore, I, Martin Tucker, the mayor of Durant of Oklahoma, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Fair Housing Month. So that's the proclamation. Thank you very much. Now we're done. Tell Ronnie I said hello. All right, now we're into the regular agenda under order of business, the consent agenda items, and I want to, at this time, I want to postpone or withdraw for tonight's meeting at least item number F, 1F. I want to take that off of the consent agenda and consider it at a future meeting. Are there any other items on the consent agenda that council members want to pull out and discuss separately? It's a lot of meeting minutes.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, you were there, right?
All right.
No items to pull out. Do I hear a motion then?
Motion to approve consent items.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to present all the consent items except for item number 1F, which will be postponed and not heard tonight. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Morrison,
Yes.
Councilmember Shear,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Simulescu.
Yes.
Mayor Tucker.
Yes, that item passes. Number 2 is consider items removed from consent. We will not consider that item tonight. We will consider it in a future meeting, hopefully not too distant future meeting. Now we're on to item number 3, the information items, which will be the January 2026 financial reports and the February 2026 sales tax report from Ms. Ann Chin.
Good evening. As usual, there's a 3 major fund that I presented it. The first one is general fund. That report summarizes the general fund as of January 31st, 2026. And it represents about 58.33% completed of the year, of the fiscal year. And the revenue is 63.54. And the expenditure for the department is 53.3. And you can see the year to date that is negative $54,846. That is because the January, we have 3 payroll. So over the period, it will ease up. And the second one is capital improvement. I also attach another 4 pages of the list of the capital improvement that completed it and partial completed it and the CIP. So
That's this report.
yes, that is the 4 pages.
And so it has more labeling on it. I wouldn't say better, but it has a lot more labeling on it to help you
Yeah.
understand what those projects are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'd ask the city manager to make some comment on capital projects at this point in the meeting, if that's okay. We look at the budget. The budget for the year was $47.9 million on capital projects, and the expenditures through 7 months, or 58% of the year, as you stated, is $4.4 million, which seems like we've got a long way to go in the next 5 months. So I wanted her to have a chance to address that.
And I did make a list today. We've got a lot of capital improvement projects going on. This afternoon, we had a bid opening for the wastewater treatment plant improvements. Those bids ranged from $31 million to $44 million. That will be brought before this board at a later meeting. But the low bid did meet all the requirements and had all their paperwork in order. We also have the Main Street project that hopefully will bid mid-summer. So that project goes from 4th to 16th Streets with street overlay, sidewalks, guttering, stormwater, a piece that was left out of the first time. Mm-hmm. That project is about another $34 million to get that redone. We also have another $35 million project for a 24-inch water line that runs 8.5 miles from Gerlach out to the airport. That one will probably bid early fall. We received $3 million for the design and engineering for an air traffic control tower at the airport, and that came from the state legislature. So thank you to our Senator David Bullard and our Representative Cody Maynard. We're also, it's in a partnership with ODOT. There will be a traffic light going in at Gerlach and First. And at first we were going to, there's a piece that we have to move on the water and sewer lines because our water lines all come into that headway right there. So a lot of lines to move. But to move this project along, we partnered with ODOT, and they are going to do that work while they're doing their work. And it will be, the cost is about $3.5 million to move all those lines, but it will be a 0 interest loan for 10 years.
That's great news.
Yeah, that was good news. I was like, well, I'll take that all day long. So, talked to Anthony Kelly yesterday, our ODOT engineer for this area. The bids for the new animal shelter, that low bid came in at $2.3 million. That will be built on the north side of our sports complex. We have a project on University. We'll be redoing the intersections at 7th and 12th, and then mill and overlay from 6th Street to Bryan Drive. That's funded by a grant and ARPA funding that we still have. We have a new transfer station on order. It should arrive sometime in May. Just found out 2 weeks, maybe it's been 2 weeks now, or last week, that the city has to comply with DEQ stormwater permitting requirements. We met with WSB, an engineering firm here in town. I think our deadline to start is June. He's like, well, you have plenty of time. I'm like, no, we don't. Not sure on the cost of that yet, but it will not be cheap. But that's a DEQ guideline, so we will have to do it. FBI has moved out of the office upstairs that they were in. We had to redo those offices. And IT has now moved into that space. We're going through a rate study right now for all of our utility fees, and also looking at a drainage fee, and that's with a company called NextGen. We're also going through an entire code update for planning, zoning, future land use. So that's some of the bigger projects we have going on, and Ann gave you the list of,
Right.
and under completed will be things completed. If she has it on the other side, that's stuff that's still ongoing. So we're just doing, I feel like $90 million in projects are gonna all start at the same time, so.
Very good. I wasn't keeping up with you, but that's probably more, like you said, that's more than the 47 million that we, so hopefully it won't all have to get paid for this year as well. So I think that budget is well justified, and I think we're on a good path forward.
We
So
are.
back to you, Ann.
Okay, the third statement is the DCUA, that is our utility authority. The revenue is 58.43%, so it's kind of like reach our expectation. And the department expense is 48.48, and it is 9.8 lower than the budgeted. So the year-to-date is 951,994. And this is also we have the 3 payroll period for this time. And then next one is our sales tax breakdown for the February. And the total amount is $1,813,335.65. And it breaks down to 5, 2 cents, 1 cent, half cent, and 1/4 cent. And the 5/8, that is for the Julian Independent School District for the high school. And 1/4 is for the economic, that is also not ours. And the next page is the 10 years of the sales tax. Compared to the same period of the prior year, it's a 1.18% increase. And to compare the same period of the prior year, the whole year is about 1.58 increase. And the next one is the sales tax versus our budget. So you can tell that year to date, the first one is the graph. The blue line is the budget, and the green one is for the real revenue that we receive. And the year to date is a little bit over our budget, is $75,041.18. And the next one is the use tax. Use tax is really unpredictable. So the dark red one is our budget amount, and the light pink one is our the real revenue that we receive. And then you can tell that this year is
Pretty good.
not bad. And then I think that people change their way of the shopping. They might shopping online or, yeah, so year to date is over our budget of $581,000.
And can you tell who are the biggest contributors to the use tax to the city of Durant? Do you know off the top of your head?
I cannot tell who.
It's got to maintain, right? Keep going that way?
And getting ready for a budget again,
Right.
right?
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, no questions. Thank you, Ann, very much. Next is item 4A, which is consider award of bid for oil and gas mining leases. And I didn't tell him ahead of time, but our city attorney has headed up this project. Any comments, Doug? Anything you need to say?
Just briefly, there's 2 gentlemen here in the crowd, I believe. One from Lowry and one from Freedom. They're both here. They've driven a long ways.
Okay.
I'd ask
Thank
that
you
the
for being
council
here.
allow them to talk. So I'm sure they want to give their 2 cents. But you have the bid packet in front of you. Bid number 1. and only two. Those are the two that showed interest early that I found in the paperwork when
Right.
when I first got here. This came to light, and I called both parties. I've talked to both parties. They've been very, very helpful, very assisted me in lots of different areas because I didn't know what I was doing,
Right.
quite frankly.
Right.
But they are here. The bid number 2 is substantially higher than bid number 1. That being said, I would lean probably heavily to bid number 2, but that's within your discretion. That's my recommendation. But I'd like to give them the opportunity to speak at this time, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Who wants to go first? This is Mr. Hudson, I believe, from Freedom Oil and Gas.
Yeah, I represent Freedom Oil and Gas and landman working for them. A little background on the deal. Freedom's been in business about 15 years. We're primarily what you call non-operator, so we do not operate production, but we lease, acquire minerals, participate in wells. We originally, 2011, 2012, joined in a well called the Murphy. There's the Neal, the Cumberland, sit right on the Bryan County line up here in 6 South, 8 East. Always watched this area, joined in a bunch of wells XTO back into 5, 6, 6, 7, pushes you back into Marshall
Sure.
County, kind of watch this trend play come out. Play's been dead, XTO controlled all of it for better part of 12, 13 years. About 2 years ago, new leases started getting filed, and since we still own working interest in the original wells, we kind of watch the play all the time. That went on for about a year under WSR Resources, Whitestone Resources. That leasing stopped about last November. At that point in time, it's kind of dead about 90 days.
Mike.
Then at this point in time, Bingo Resources became the new leaser down here. Permitted a well under the name WSR, offsetting our acreage. So at that point in time, we received notices for location exception, multi-unit. And then we just started kind of looking around, pulled all the public data through OK County records, noticed there have been hundreds and hundreds of leases filed all throughout. Basically, if you take the map from Marshall County, extend it down, hypothetically runs all through Bryan County, even further over this little Woodford trend. At that point in time, we just kind of started poking around, have some contacts down here for back in 2010, 2011, 2012 days, reached out to some folks in Medill, acquired some acreage under the well that's producing at this point, and then we just started running what you call cursory reports. July of last year, we ran into the Durant Industrial Authority, began sending letters, try to contact, is there some acreage under the well? So hey, let's try to pick that up, see what else they have. Didn't hear anything, honestly, for several months, and then about December possibly, Doug reached out and said, hey, we've been getting a bunch of lease offers. You guys still interested in leasing down here? And we're like, yeah, we've been acquiring acreage throughout the townships down here. And at that point in time, we just kind of decided, we'd put a bid in on this, and that's basically where we are. And as a non-operator, we're able to pay a little bit more because we don't have an overhead staff. We basically are a financial company, participates in wells as the primary source of the business. We don't have control over the timing when the wells get drilled, things of that nature, but we are able to offer additional money just because our overhead staff is lower and everything like that. It's a spec play at this point. There is a well, nobody has any data on it, so it's hard to know what that well's doing over there, but we do have acreage in the well, so we're waiting to get a well proposal and kind of figure out, what's happened on that and with the rest of the acreage we've acquired down here. But be very happy to lease the city. I think our bid is strong. And do you guys have any questions about the company, about me, about anything else, or?
Questions, comments? We probably understood 85, maybe 90% of what you said. So
Okay, and I talk fast.
I hope that's
know
good.
that too,
Right. I hope
so
that's
I'm like
good.
running on fumes and talking quick. So,
I understand.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming down.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Thank you
Go ahead.
you guys.
I've got questions,
Yes.
Mr. Hudson. You said the well's already been drilled.
From what's shown on Pangea and on Convey 640, which is the public data sites we use to track well production, it shows the well was drilled last probably June, July. Shows a spud date. Picked up a completion through IHS in November, but no production reported today. And I checked the tax rolls this morning before we came down here, and there's still nothing filed. But there is a producing well over there. You can drive by and see it off the highway.
How do you know it's producing?
There's a flare going. There's tanks out there. To me, it looks like an operational well. I've been doing this a long time, but I don't know that for sure. I'm not involved in the operations side or work for the company that is the operator, but From seeing a flare out on the site, seeing tank batteries set up, seeing everything that's over there, you lead you to believe they've got a producing property. But I mean, that's just an assumption, you know, like.
Not everybody in here is oil and I'm surely not. I'm not an
Sure.
oil and gas expert. Why would we do a lease?
I mean, I think the only other option is really probably, I don't know, we talked about this, about forced pooling.
I know we
possibly.
did, but-
Yeah, okay. So potentially there's a statute through the state of Oklahoma, and I don't know if municipalities are subject to it or not. We kind of gone back and forth, but it's called forced pooling. And so in the situation you don't enter into a lease, then the state of Oklahoma, they'll propose a well to you. I get three options, either lease at an eighth or a 3/16 or whatever they're offering, or participate in the well. And then they'll have a hearing at the Corporation Commission. That hearing will establish a pooling order and give you 20 days to elect in and 25 days. If you elect to pay, like, you know, elect to participate in the well, you have 5 additional days to pay your share of the well cost. And typically those are just lower rates because, you know, the rate out here, I mean, again, we've been paying a little more competitively just because we're a smaller business. But, you know, the going rate's been pretty low throughout the county. So they usually will go to the commission and say, here's what we paid across 30 sections or 50s, whatever they've been leasing, you know. And here's what the going rate is. Here's the market rate in Bryan County. Corporation Commission will take that into consideration. You know, probably take a few weeks before they could issue an order. But typically the pooling orders are lower rate. You also have like an additional step here with like in the lease, there's a royalty provision that allows for deductions, but only for enhancement value. The Corporation Commission doesn't follow that stuff. There's a depth clause in the lease, which, you know, allows you surface to the base of the wood, whatever formation is producing or assumed to be producing. The rights below that would expire at the end of the primary term. There's a shut-in royalty provision in the lease. You just get better terms, and you have an opportunity to get more money and get the money up front now instead of waiting for, you know, it could be several months before they do anything. But again, I don't have that information, so I just, you know, that's just the typical way when they drill wells, how it goes.
Is it unique for a municipality to enter in, like, is this something that you've done?
You
before?
know, to be honest with you, I mean, most wells get drilled out in the countryside. This will be the very first time we've ever entered into a lease of municipality, but the majority of our wells are in Stevens, Carter, you know, but outside the cities. You know, they're in, you know, Stevens, Carter, Garvin County, Murray County, Grady County, stuff all up through, you know, east of or west of here, but not inside city boundaries.
I can answer that question. It's not an anomaly. I had to seek help from other municipalities to get this going. And Chickasha, Grady County is notorious for leasing their oil interest, and they're the ones who helped me the most in this area.
Was there any downsides that they talked about or anything like that? I mean, didn't quite grasp what all you were talking about, but a lot of it sounds really good. I'm just curious.
Having to account for the interest that you make on the money, that was the only
Yeah.
thing
Okay,
they said.
just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it
Yeah.
sounded like. Okay. And then just so I understand, like, on the terms, so it'd be like 3 years, and then the 2-year option thing, is that whose option? Is that your
That's
option?
the
Yeah,
option
that's-
of the
if
people
he
that
wants
lease,
to keep it,
correctly. So
yeah.
the people that take the lease have an option to extend for 2 additional years.
Okay, then after that, it's whoever.
Well, it's either held by production
Right.
or.
If it's in
reverts
production, then
back.
it just stays
Yeah,
in
it stays in
production.
perpetuity,
It's not
except for the
leasable.
clauses in the lease that, you
Right.
know, addressing depth clauses and things of that nature. But the rest of it will revert back to you guys. That's the city, so.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, you may not have an answer to this or can't say, but how often, like, you said this is speculative, I guess, like, you don't
Yeah.
know. How often are you right?
I mean, you know, we work pulling orders aggressively and work the fields pretty good. I mean, it's not necessarily like.
I mean, you're still in business, so I mean, I
Yeah,
guess,
well, I
like,
would
yeah.
say the difference today in participating in wells versus 30, 40 years ago is that you had a lot of dry holes. Nowadays, it's more commercial risk. I mean, how much product are you going to find? What the pricing is going to be? Say we own in the Murphy well in 3468. And that well, you know, is probably not economic at the time, but the the technology's changed a lot. What they're doing, longer lateral lengths, better completion technology. So that's kind of the bet on the future when you're doing with like on a non-op side. You know, you look at some of these old areas, say there's established production, they found something in the past, you know, is the technology in 2025, 2026 better than the technology in 2011? And I mean, the answer, and also XTO is notoriously has been a subpar operator in the field. You know, they basically control the whole area back to the west of you guys.
And I don't want to speak for Brett, but once a well is established and reserves can be proven, you can even take some of the price fluctuation out by a few, through the
Hedging.
options market. You
Yeah.
can future,
And
you
the
can,
city would have the opportunity.
you can kind of
you know,
ensure what you're going to get.
Sure. We
That's
don't
one
do that.
farther
We're all
down the
spot
road.
market player. Our interest is too small, most of the bills, to do that, but that is always an opportunity to go
Right.
to a bank and find someone to take the other side of the price, yeah.
And just so I have to make sure I understand, when you said the well that was already out there, that's not well, that's a well like across the street or something, or what?
I
It's
mean,
on
it's
Orchard
a-
Lane, isn't it?
Do what?
Isn't it Orchard Lane?
But
Yeah,
it's
it's-
not the land that we already get. I guess I'm curious though. I don't quite understand what.
I think
I
we
think
have
it's
some,
part of
I
your
think we
land.
have part of, I think we have some mineral acre
Yeah, I
interest
think
in
it's
that.
part of your land,
Yes.
my understanding, but again, I don't know how far they'll allow. I mean, you can get on the public data on Pangea or on, Base 640 or IHS or whatever and see what has been filed, on the reports to the
Right.
state.
Right.
And that's what we go off of. And, depending on if the lateral went far enough, how the whole thing played out, the city should be a part of that. And again, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out, wait, we own a well that we don't know. I was just kind of trying to figure out what the situation was.
Yeah, that I can't answer. I don't know about that. I mean, I just am aware that, there's been stuff filed at the state
Right.
and everything like
Right.
that, but I don't.
I want to clarify, I know you're confused, but someone gave the surface rights to drill that well. We own the mineral interest
Right.
below,
We own-
but we don't own the surface.
Okay.
Okay.
We only own the, some of the mineral interest, and that's all,
Yeah,
not,
it's like
not the
3
other,
mile
right.
Okay.
Unit over
Right.
there, I believe. So,
Thank
our
you.
park's
That's
3
what I was trying to
miles.
figure out what was going, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brett.
All right, you're welcome.
Appreciate
Any
it.
other questions?
My name is Brett Lowry. We are the Lowry Land Company. We're the broker for Bingo Resources, who made the second or the first bid. We have a partnership with WSR Operating, who is the operator of the well that has been drilled. And our offer was lower, it sounds like, it appears, but
Yep.
acreage matters in future wells, and the more acreage that the operator accumulates, the better a chance of the next location being on a unit that they own more acreage in. So so as to say, if you guys, the city signs a lease with Bingo, it increases the acreage of the drilling partnership, and the drilling partnership is going to be more apt to drill a well on units that they have more acreage in, because that's just the way it usually is. So most of the time the operators want to get to 240 or 320 acres in every section in a unit before they drill something. And so the more acreage they gain, the better chance of drilling the sections. So what Mr. Hudson said was that they don't have control over where the wells go, but they can pay a better bonus, whereas we have control over where the wells go, and we may pay a lower bonus, but the company we work for is involved in planning the wells. So WSR Operating is the operator of the well that's already been drilled, and Bingo is their partner.
So just make sure I understand. So you're saying that we might take a bonus and may never get a well that's
Correct.
grown. Okay.
That's correct. And so, and the operator generally, and not always, but generally speaking, they like to drill units where they have more acreage. And so, if they have get acreage from the city in a section that's one of these substantial acreages, it could really make a difference in them drilling that, and then the city earning royalties after the fact once they drill the well. And oftentimes, when they drill one well, they make a good well, they'll often infill them and drill multiple wells after the fact. So it's, and we submitted our lease form with our bid, and it complies with all of the requirements of the bidding requirement. We provided all of the clauses that were requested, and that lease form has been used across this entire area, and taken hundreds of leases with local people that agreed to that lease form as well. So We understand there's a disparity in the price, but what we have to offer is that these can give us more acreage and increase the chance of a well being drilled. And we have leases with us and checks to pay for the leases with us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brad. Questions, comments for?
I've got questions.
Go ahead.
They're going to be quite pointed.
Okay.
The disparity in the amount, and I'm sure you've dealt and been in competition with this same
Mhm.
Freedom Oil and Gas before, and probably the same scenario has come up. Why would a Freedom Oil and Gas give, roughly double, and not have a chance of, there wouldn't be a chance of drilling a well? What drives that? I know that's a hard question, but,
A gamble.
okay.
And I can speak only in a limited capacity. I'm a landman. I'm not an engineer or a geologist. The landmen at the company that we work for tell us what we can pay, and that comes from engineers and geologists. So our prices come directly from the people who are predicting how much the acreage is actually worth when the oil comes out of the ground.
So in production, though, it's the same royalty percentage for each. I mean, maybe
Correct.
3/16 is the standard. I don't know.
It's a 3/16 is
Common, if
is
not the
stand-
standard?
I would say is the standard.
Okay, so it's almost a matter of whether it gets in production or not, right? From your perspective?
Yeah, and in order, different companies have, like Mr. Hudson said, they don't have a lot of overhead associated with this. But the drilling company who's studied all of this has determined that this is what they believe it's worth, and the broker, we do what we're told, and we bid what we're told, and we offer what we're told, so.
Right.
Yeah.
As you well know, and you've been very helpful, by the way, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
in the identifying of the property. You do know that other property is coming.
Yes, sir.
That's the next vote that's coming up after this,
Yes,
as far
sir.
as that notice.
And we plan to bid on that as well.
I can inform you, and I need to inform the board, that track number 5 is not part of the award. Durant City's Utility Authority owns that property. We'll have to go through the same process for award of that property. So the first bid will be reduced by, if I don't have my glasses on, by roughly 20,000, and the second bid would be reduced by 26,000. So just so the board knows, the track 5 is out of play at this time.
In this bidding.
Track 5 is, we can't award that because we don't own it. That's my fault. Pure and simple, I'll take ownership of it.
One of our authorities owns it, so it's a
Wanna
matter
get
of process.
That's correct. It's a
Right.
process. We will offer it, but for tonight, it's not on the board.
But it will be,
It's
awarded
leasable.
possibly awarded in the future.
Most likely, unless
Yeah.
somebody on the Durant City Utilities Authority doesn't have common sense.
Yes, sir.
I think it's the same people up here, so it was kind of a.
Okay. Well, we'll have a check ready whenever it's ready.
Well, thank you.
Should be.
Appreciate you.
Other comments or questions?
I mean, just, I don't know if you can answer this or not, but just in general, so, you said that increases the chances, the likelihood of your drilling if you own this.
Yes, sir.
To what? I guess, what are the chances?
Well, I'll just say, if, speaking in very general
Yeah.
terms, and I've been doing this since 2004, and not a lot of wells I've seen get drilled in sections with low amounts of acreage owned by the operator. So a low amount of acreage, I would say, is, you very infrequently see anything get drilled where the operator owns less than 120 acres in a section. And most of the operators that we have worked for in the past have either 240 acre, which is, I'd say, happens less often, or 320 acre breaking points where they will not drill a well if they don't own something close to that. Because they want, it also, if there's someone else who owns a large amount of acreage, when they go to the Corporation Commission to propose their well, sometimes there's operations fights at the Corporation Commission with two companies who have competing interests in the unit, and they both want to drill the well. Very expensive, and if a company really wants to drill something really bad and they think it's so good, they'll fight forever at the Corporation Commission over operations. But if it's marginal and it's just okay, they say we have other better stuff to drill over here, and we'll go drill the stuff that we control. That's just me. I'm not an operator.
Right.
I work as a broker for operators, and my experience over time would be that.
So you made me think of a question, Clint, so thank you for that. So let's say you get 300 of the acres leased up or bought up,
Yep.
and then you decide to drill the well. The other 340 acres of mineral interest, who gets that money?
Well, it would depend on what those other owners did with their interest. So you would have perhaps other, what Mr. Hudson was speaking of, non-operators. And non-operators are typically companies who have taken leases from some of those other owners. And they may be small companies like Mr. Hudson's, or they may be another company like XTO
Right.
or another operator. And sometimes they participate in each other's wells, but oftentimes they trade out of each other's wells to consolidate acreage. And then the people who refuse to lease or will not lease,
Force pooled?
you force pool them.
And then you just pay the corporation commission and they just
We
pass
pay
the
the
money out?
owners directly.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, we pay a pooling bonus, and we testify in front of the Corporation Commission to what fair market value is. We would call everyone who owns a lease and ask them what they paid for that lease.
Right.
And truthfully, most companies that you call refuse to tell you. But some companies will tell you what they paid, and we'll call the mineral owners of the people who refuse to tell us and ask them what they were paid, and most of them refuse to tell
Right.
us. So but we have to go through the entire process so we can testify at the Corporation
Right.
Commission that we did so.
Got it. That wasn't in Landman, by the way. None of that.
Nope.
None of that was in there.
No, and we don't work with the cartel.
This is way more detailed than that. That show seems way more fun. Again, like I'm just trying to do the math in my head, I guess, of like trying to think of like the royalty amount based off of what price, and then like how many, assuming that deal number 2 with the lower one there on the screen, like we never drilled, how many barrels would we have to get out of this well to make up the $350,000? Just would a typical well do that? Like how long would it take to do that? I guess?
It just depends on your acreage in the well, and it also depends on pricing.
Yeah.
Pricing goes up and down. We're over $100 right now, and we were around $50 a couple weeks ago, and it goes up and down. And you hear these companies drill wells at the right time, and their well pays out in 1 week.
Right.
And they drill the well at the wrong time, and it
Never
takes
pays out.
years to pay out or never
Right.
pays out.
Right.
And
Is that what the price is based off of? Like what I see on TV for price of, a barrel of oil? That's
Mhm.
the price that we use to figure out the royalty
yeah.
amount? Okay.
And I'm not an engineer. I'm not an accountant. But they use all different companies do it different ways. I know very little about this, but they use NYMEX strip pricing, and they predict and say, we predict we're going to go with the strip, or we predict that it's going to be different than the strip, and we think gas is going to be worth $4 next year, and we think they're wrong, and so we're going to drill these gas wells.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's all.
It's not like gambling, but
There's
it's
gambling
kind of like
involved
gambling.
in all of it. There's gambling for you guys taking our bid or their bid, and there's gambling for the companies. So
No guarantees in this
yeah,
life.
no guarantees in the oil business. That's absolutely true.
All right. Other questions or comments?
Other than if we,
Have an actual landman here.
well, yeah,
All right.
that would be great too. I'd love to hear more about that. But we'll say that after the meeting. You said like we have more coming up. Does this decision affect the other stuff?
No.
What's
No,
right?
They would
No.
do a normal bid process. It'd be
Separate.
From people eating in your restaurants to
Renting
people staying in your
houses,
hotels. and
everything.
Giving money in royalties to your area people.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? No? Comments? No? Okay, thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you very much.
Been very helpful. We do have one young lady who has some comments that she wants to make about hydrocarbon production and I think other things, environmental issues. If you would, please introduce yourself, and I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name.
Yeah, I sure will. Okay, so good evening, Mayor Tucker, City Council members, Attorney Elliott, and Manager Polk. My name is Elizabeth Calicote, and I am the founder of the Durant Green School Program. I live at 176 Colonel Lane. The Durant Green School Program operates within the Durant Independent School District, and this is the 10th year of the program. I've been working with children during those years. At this point, I've worked with almost 2,000 kids and teaching them about living sustainably, including learning about climate science. I have a master's degree in geography. I've been studying climate change for about 30 years, and so I have a long background. And I'm coming tonight to ask you to pause Durant School District on this topic. To the teachers who were able to come to that, and it wasn't everybody from the district, I should say. Fossil fuels are a known cause of global warming, which is changing our climate. The rate of change is picking up pace, and we need to pivot to more benign sources of income and wealth. And I ask if drilling for oil and gas at this time is absolutely necessary, given the details that I just saw in regard to income coming in that's even higher than what the budget is. And I know that might not hold, but just saying, you know, in watching that presentation, I understand that you're doing your best to take care of our community, and I thank you very much for that. But although fossil fuels can bring wealth, obviously, in the short term, in the long term, which can be 5-10 years down the road, the question is whether or not we'll have a livable climate. And the fact of the matter is that as you add carbon from the burning of fossil fuels to the atmosphere, it forms carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas, and warms the atmosphere. It's called the greenhouse effect. And we've known about this for about 124 years. So the science goes back about 200 years. The data goes back millions of years by coring into the ocean, analyzing each year of data, and then also by coring into glaciers and analyzing every year when ice is added to that glacier, you have encapsulated pockets of air from that year. And so we know a whole lot about how this works, and I'd like the opportunity to share that information with you. I have a few things to leave with you tonight for you to consider, if you will. I have been in correspondence with Gary McManus, the Oklahoma State climatologist, and I have a report from him. And on top of that, I have just a few snippets from a presentation that I referred to a few minutes ago in regard to professional development for our teachers. My vision for this town is sustainability. I'm also an entrepreneur, and I would like to see Durant, Oklahoma become the first small town capital of sustainability, and that's long-term wealth, not only in money, but in providing a future for our children that they can grow up and have a healthy life. Addressing climate change means cleaner air, it means cleaner water, it means healthier soil, it means healthier food and healthier people. So I really thank you for your time, and Mrs. Polk, I would love the opportunity to get on the schedule to be able to present about climate change. And so here are the documents.
I already got one. Yeah. Thank you for that. So, Cindy, help me. We're through items 4A, number 1 and number 2, and we're down to 4B. Am I tracking this right?
You need to vote on A1.
A1. consider award of bid for an oil and gas mining lease. So, for the city council, between the two bid offers that have been made and explained by both of the offerers, do I hear a motion on either of those bids?
Put the two up again like you had earlier.
And remember, number 5 is not
Five's not in play.
not in play tonight.
The total on the top without the play is 219,875.50, and total on the bottom without number 5 is 569,820.51. For 219 and 569.
So is 5 gonna be rebid again, or are we gonna put
No, no.
it in the utilities authority?
No, that's a separate track. Number 5, is that what you mean? Yes, that'll have to go through the utilities authority.
But not tonight?
Not tonight,
Okay.
because it wasn't on the agenda for tonight, so we can't bid it.
Okay.
It wasn't
I-
published, it wasn't
Okay.
published
Okay.
as being from the utilities authority, if that makes sense.
Correct.
I'd like to make the motion to approve bidder number 2, Freedom Oil, for the amount of $569,820.51.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and this is on item 4A, award of a bid, and the motion is to go to Freedom for the amount that Councilman Humphreys.
Okay, but does that need to have all the terms, not just?
You gotta read the whole thing, Humphrey.
All terms listed.
Thank you.
All the terms listed in the bid sheet, right?
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Morrison,
Yes.
Councilmember Shear,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Simulescu.
Yes.
Mayor Tucker.
Yes, the motion passes. So next is item 4A2, consider approval of said lease. And city attorney is sharing that document with us now. And this looks like a boilerplate document,
No, not at all.
is it not?
We've been using that lease form for.
If you would speak up.
Yeah, we've been using that lease form for the past 14 years. It's from Attorney Dan Little over in Medill. You guys might be familiar with, and we.
Maybe that's why I think it's boilerplate, because I've seen so many.
Yeah,
of
yeah, I
them.
mean, Dan,
Yeah.
so I started working with Dan in
Gotcha.
2011, down here working this basin, and that is his lease form.
Gotcha.
I mean, I emailed Jackie over there at his office, and she sent it to me, and so that's exactly what we sent, is exactly what Dan always has used.
So is it track 5 on this document
No,
as
it is
well?
not. I've
So this has been
That was-
cleaned up. This
that
is a
was my
good
question.
document, okay.
Track 5 has been pulled out. If you'll notice on 5, it does not correspond to the 5 on this list.
That's what I was, okay, perfect.
But it should have all the clauses you guys want. I mean, Mr. Little represents a lot of people out here, so.
Was the amount in this corrected, or was it?
There's
not?
no amount on this form.
Okay.
That's a matter of, we don't hand them the lease till we get the money.
Well, like they were saying, going to the Corporation Commission and asking people, what'd you get, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's
we're
not
one
in
of the
there.
people that we get calls from them, and we honestly don't disclose. Brett gave you all great information.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that. We're one of the companies that don't disclose. We do buy minerals and leases all over the state of Oklahoma, not just in Bryan County, under several different entities. And we do have investors back in this deal, obviously. You know, we're a small company, so. But yeah, Brett was
None of
honestly.
these would affect, lease situations like this have no effect on fair market value.
Right,
Right, yeah, multi-section deal. Yeah, for
And this
sure.
is not an arm's length transaction.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
bid
multi-section
out
deal.
deal.
He's right on that, all the stuff with the commission, all that, so. And there was a question about how we came up with our price. It's $1 more than we paid Dan Little. And we figured they might have heard from talking to Jackie or somebody at the office, so we were worried. We were like, well, let's go $1 more than we paid Dan and see what happens, you know what I mean?
I'll make sure I tell Dan that.
Don't tell Dan that. But yeah, it's $1 more than you got. And that was a hard negotiate with him. He had a lot of acreage down here, and we went back and forth for several months to get him to lease to us, so.
So anything else we need to know about the document that we haven't already discussed?
These two out here know much more about that lease form than I do. It
Yep.
was-
If you have any questions, I mean, basically in that lease, there's a depth clause. And
Right.
there's a horizontal pew clause, which really doesn't come into play anymore with the way they space the wells. But in the old days, if you had an 80-acre spaced well, it would expire any acreage outside of there. Has a royalty deduction clause, which allows for enhancement of value. Shut-in royalty provisions, 2 years cumulative, so we would pay a shut-in royalty, and anytime the well would come back on, this clock would start back over, but assuming the well shut in for longer than 2 years, lease revert back to you guys, and has the option to extend language in there on 2 additional years at the, just basically roller point stuff from Mr. Little.
Questions from council?
Just out of curiosity, why do you surrender a lease from time to time, it says on?
Oh, I mean, there's like, we never, a lot of those leases are standard language. I guess technically, if you got into an area and you knew it wasn't gonna get drilled, you could just release the
Move
lease.
on.
It just gives you the option to release
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to focus on areas that have potential to drill.
Yeah.
I will say this, we had a lot of leases expire in the last 2 years, and we were poking around,
Yeah.
buying stuff, saying, when we don't, they do have the advantage, us working with the operator, there's no doubt on that, being able to decide where things go and, how that all works out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, technically that language is in there in case, you just said, oh, we're done with this project, we just want to sign, release it back to the mineral owner. I've never personally done it, or we have a lot of leases that do expire though. I will
But you don't
say
get the
that.
money back.
We don't get the money back.
Right.
No. Unfortunately,
That's what he wanted to know.
Okay, any other questions on the form, on the actual contract? No, then do I hear a motion?
Motion approved.
That'd be item
4A2.
4A2, which
Yep.
is the lease.
The lease.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 4A2, which is the lease that we've discussed. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Morrison,
Yes.
Councilmember Shear,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Simulescu,
Yes.
Mayor Tucker.
Yes. Now, next is item 4B. This is to consider and vote to approve or reject publication of notice to request bids to lease oil and gas interest of approximately 181.87 acres owned by the city of Durant. Is this owned?
Part of an Indian interest, and that's the reason we had to do it separate.
Gotcha. Okay. Comments or questions on that? Another offer to bid, offer to lease 181, almost 182 acres.
Do we have a map of where these properties lie?
Most of it's going to be out by the bypass, almost all of it,
Yeah.
and these guys here know more about it than I do as far as where it is, but it's numerous areas, so as far as giving you a specific location, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Can we get that?
You can. They will provide that if I ask for it.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a copy of that.
Sure. But I don't know where it is. I don't have it right now.
Good.
Comments on 4B? Hearing none, I make a motion that we do offer by publication a notice to request bids to lease this 181.87 mineral acres.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 4B, which is a publication of notice to request bids for approximately 181.87 acres of mineral lease. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Morrison,
Yes.
Councilmember Shear,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Simulescu,
Yes.
Mayor Tucker.
Yes, motion, that item passes. Next, item 4C is no longer needed. That cost came in at something that the city manager has the authority to approve, and so she did. No need for council action on item 4C. Next is item 4D, consider approval of a resolution establishing fees and costs charged by the city of Durant for Durant services, which will be resolution 2026-03. And someone distilled it down to one page. Ryan, is that?
No, I have my own.
Okay, all
'Cause
right.
I made my own copies.
There you
Sent in what I have always
We got
been
that
sent to
too.
change. So
Yep, we
that's
got
what
that
I
too.
did. So with the fees that we are changing, it's not much. The big ticket items is for the swimming pool and gate fees, dropping senior rates to free admission because most seniors that come into the pool are actually bringing
Bunch of kids. Yeah.
So giving them that cost, and this allows seniors to participate in our
That's good marketing for 50 years.
water aerobics over the weekend at no cost, and our morning swimmers that do lap swims are mostly in the senior range, so this helps them, and they go out there daily.
Wait, I'm sorry, on that one was.
Yes, sir.
The proposed fee is 4 or
No.
the current fee is?
The current fee is $4.
Okay,
We're
it says-
proposing to make it
it's
0.
just-
So that was labeled
Yeah.
backwards,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry, yeah,
That was
okay, just
labeled
making sure.
backwards.
Yeah, current fee is $4, and we're proposing to make it 0. Another big ticket is Market Square Cafe daily rental with a $25 security deposit. It's for pretty much, we're doing pop-up stores for special events, or if anyone wants to try to get their foot in the door. It's only a day rental. We're putting a cap on how many days you can rent it at a time, but it makes it where it gives someone a chance to even see if what their idea for a shop is viable in the city without having to rent a whole space for a big portion.
So sort of like a very small
Yes.
incubator space.
Yeah.
And again, make sure I'm looking at this
Yes,
right.
sir.
So like the security deposit, the proposed fee is 25? Or-
Yes.
Okay. I'm just kind of curious, like
So
they would get
it's-
that
yeah.
back, right? They would get that back as long as everything's left.
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as.
I'm almost thinking that
my,
like if.
my staff will be the ones that are the ones cleaning before
Yeah.
and after, so we would be the ones.
I'm
going
almost
and
thinking
say-
is 25 too low? If it's security, I mean, like they're gonna get that back, and then like, what does 25 cover if it's not good? Okay, if it's not okay, I'm almost thinking.
I got a question
Yes,
on
ma'am.
this. What happens if somebody wants to rent it for like longer term?
It's not doing that right now.
We're not offering that
Yeah.
at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the
I was
cap?
just cool.
In theory, more on the weekends,
Yeah.
kind of, or
Right.
during
That
big
makes sense.
events, so it'd just be one time shop. Other items is putting in the fee schedule our CPR and lifeguarding classes. I have had numerous calls from local small towns around us trying to get into a lifeguard class. This actually makes it where they can, and we can do it, and it covers our fee, and it's still well below the national average. I think the closest lifeguard class is Dallas or more, and you're looking at $300 for a person, when the 175 actually covers everything, since this is really designed for small towns, so they can make sure their pools have lifeguards that are adequately trained. They get that coverage. And then CPR, we are working with, in the off-season, actually offering CPR classes to the general public, and we'll also be doing for the city employees as well, but those will obviously not be cost. But my new pool manager is certified in teaching all that, so it'll be all in-house.
Gotcha.
And offering the classes to the general public. There's 2 routes you can actually go through, a non-certified or certified route, and that's just offering an educational course, or if they want to get certified so they can put it on their resume and all that, they can actually pay for it. The non-certified, they obviously don't get a certification, but they learn the material.
Okay. Questions or comments on those proposed changes?
I mean, just the one that I had, just like that security deposit almost feels like it should be bigger, I think. Just 'cause I just, if you are having to clean it up, I mean, $25 isn't going to go far. But I mean, besides that, I mean, I'm fine with it. Especially if we're going to give it back to them. Like, hey, yeah, it's like $200. I feel like even if you go stay in Airbnb, like probably have to pay a cleaning fee of some sort. So I mean, at least this one you can get it back.
I guess it could be the same amount as the day rental.
Yeah, the day rent. Like I would just, I mean, I don't know how.
I mean, if that's.
So what would the council prefer? $100?
I think also if you do things in damages, you're probably gonna be liable for the damages, right?
Right,
So-
not just end with whatever the deposit was,
Right.
right? It's not a limited
Right.
liability relationship here.
So that may be,
I do have a question on the senior admission fee, the age 65 and up.
Yes.
How many of those, how many people that
Right
affect?
now, out of the past several years, that's less than 5% of our yearly admissions and the pool.
Can we
So-
just nix that? I mean, I don't think, those elderly people, I don't.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
That's
making
his
it
proposal,
zero and
is to
not.
zero it. That's what.
Oh,
he's
it's back,
proposing.
okay,
Yeah, it's
so
making it
we want to
zero.
make it zero.
Yeah, right now it's
that
So I need to,
four.
I need to move
how
that,
do you guys
okay.
check for that? You have driver's licenses, or you just take them at their word?
Okay.
I'm just curious, right?
In my experience in the rec field, if they're asking for it, they are seniors. It's whenever they don't admit that they're
All right.
seniors that they don't.
That's fine, I was curious. That seems okay.
So.
So Philip, you can come to the pool,
Oh, God.
come out there
Yeah,
free, buddy.
hey, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's legal.
I'm gonna make a motion.
Okay, let's hear
I'm gonna
it.
make a motion to approve, what is it, 4D?
Are we gonna?
As presented, or you want to change that
We're
one?
gonna up the fee on the
deposit?
deposit to,
Okay, with
$100
the
bucks.
exception of increasing the deposit on the security to $100.
Yeah, I'll second that.
yeah.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the amendment to the fee schedule with the change on the deposit to $100 instead of $20. Okay? So will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Morrison,
Yes.
Councilmember Shear,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Simulescu.
Yes.
Mayor Tucker.
Yes, and that passes unanimously. Now, I'm going to pause the city council meeting, and we're going to go to Vice Mayor's favorite part of the night, and I want to call to order a meeting of the Durant Airport Authority. Will the clerk please call the roll?
I think it's utilities.
It's of the meeting before. That is all that is before the Board of Trustees tonight. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Trustee Morrison,
Yes.
Trustee Shear,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Simulescu.
Yes.
Chairman Tucker.
Yes, that motion passes. There are no other items on the agenda tonight, so I move for adjournment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn the Durant Airport Authority meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Trustee Morrison,
Yes.
Trustee Shear,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Simulescu.
Yes.
Chairman Tucker.
Yes, we're stand adjourned. At this time, I will call to order a meeting of the Durant City Utilities Authority. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Miller,
Here.
Trustee Morrison,
Here.
Trustee Shear,
Here.
Vice Chairman Simulescu.
Here.
Chairman Tucker.
Here we have a quorum. The first item tonight is the consent agenda, which is approval of the regular meeting minutes from February the 10th. Do I have questions or do I hear a motion on the minutes?
Motion to approve consent items.
Second. Yeah, second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Trustee Morrison,
Yes.
Trustee Shear,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Simulescu.
Yes.
Chairman Tucker.
Yes, that motion passes. Next on the agenda under item 4 administration is 4A, consider approval of change order number 1 on the manhole rehabilitation project in the decreased amount
We never see that.
yes, exactly, decreased amount of $145,922.50. And so Director Hightower is going to explain to us how many times this happens when we come in under budget.
I've never done this.
Never
so.
done it before.
No, this was contingency money that was in this project.
Gotcha.
We have completed the manhole project. We've either raised them to ground level, resurfaced them, or replaced 730 manholes in the city. And this is the contingency money that's left over. So it will be coming back to us. We had to do this change order before we do the final payout.
Right.
So.
Right.
Seems like they did a good job. They go in
I
there,
think
they
so.
fix it. They left it real good, all the ones that I
and-
drive over.
Yes.
And they completed this project in a little over a year, and it was scheduled.
Do I hear a motion? Item 4A.
Motion to approve 4A with the approval of the change order amount of $145,922.50.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 4A. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Morrison?
Yes.
Trustee Shear?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Simulescu?
Yes.
Chairman Tucker?
Yes, that item passes. Next is item 4B, which is consider approval of final payment application number 14 for the manhole rehabilitation project in the amount of $126,858.80. So, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
You can see the change order net up there, a few lines up, and then we'll be done, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Comments or questions on that project? There'll be a whole lot of projects, according to Pam, coming up soon, so you're going to see a lot more of this in the next short period of time.
Hopefully get money back on some of those.
Yeah, and come in ahead of schedule, right, and under budget. Wouldn't that be great if they all did? Comments or questions on this
Have you
one?
noticed any difference since we've done this? Have you noticed any difference in inflow of water?
Stormwater.
We have noticed that some, a little difference. There is $1.4 million that is remaining in this, the loan and from OWRB. That this all came about from the meters, when we replaced the meters, and a little bit of ARPA money left. My next goal is to take some of that, do some smoke testing. We fixed the manhole problems. Now we got to look at line problems, because there's still a lot of lines in this town that are the old clay tile lines, and you do get infiltration in those. But I would like to do that with this money, and I'm gonna come to that one of these days before. But yeah, we have seen a difference. I mean, some of the manholes are not floating like alien ships when it rains now, so it helps some, yes.
Comments or questions?
Motion to approve 4B.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 4B, which is the final payout for manhole rehab. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Morrison?
Yes.
Trustee Shear?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Simulescu?
Yes.
Chairman Tucker?
Yes, that item passes.
Thank y'all.
There are no other items on the agenda tonight for the Utilities Authority. I move for adjournment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn the Durant City Utilities Authority meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Morrison?
Yes.
Trustee Shear?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Simulescu?
Yes.
Chairman Tucker?
Yes, we stand adjourned. Now, back to the regular Durant City Council meeting. The last item is new business. Is there any new business to come before the council at this time? I'm assuming no, because it's not on the agenda. So, I will move that we adjourn tonight's meeting of the Durant City Council.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Councilmember Morrison?
Yes.
Councilmember Shear?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Simulescu?
Yes.
Mayor Tucker?
Yes, we stand adjourned.